Never mind what you've seen.
Never mind what you heard.
It is seen and not heard, and we are here. We are here with guests that make this episode even that much more special.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got my man Chris here, Sober Chef.
What's going on, everybody? Chris, Sober Chef Catering.
You know what I'm saying? And we got Alex.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Alexandria Pucker, and I am the owner of God's Nectar LLC, which is a company that makes cold pressed juices. I'm also a chef, and I also do catering as well and meal prep.
One time, and yes, Alex is about to send us more. Because these right here on this table that you see may not make it through this episode.
This is not surviving the night.
You know, this whole concept started as me just doing this for me.
That's dope.
I was last year, every year I like do something different because I'm a personal trainer too. Like I'm always been into nutrition, always been into fitness. So I was like, okay, if I don't make it, I'm not gonna buy it. Like I don't want to buy anything in the store anymore. I want to make it. So I bought myself a juicer for Christmas. And then I started juicing at the first of the new year. And then I like to post stuff because I like to post videos sometimes. And then people kept like hitting me up like, are you selling? And I was like, no, absolutely not.
They built the business for you.
God.
By popular demand. I feel you.
I prayed on it a lot because I was like, listen, I don't want to do this for that. Like that was never the intention. I'm just trying to do this for myself. Stick to it for a year. See, where I go with it. And I prayed on it a lot because it kept coming up a lot. And I was like, listen, this is a lot of work. Like, this is a lot of labor. I'm tired, Lord. I don't want to do that. Right. I was like, if this is what you want from me, you let me know. And when I was in the shower, the concept of the name and the images came up. And so when I got out, I drew it in a notebook.
Shower is the best incubator for ideas, yo.
The best place to think.
Dead ass. I don't know what it is. There's got to be some science behind that.
Right.
Facts. So,
maybe it's just because of the quiet too.
Yeah.
But that kind of goes with,
one of the rare rooms in the house that don't have a TV.
Yeah, one of the themes for the movie, yo. Mm-hmm. So what we got, yo? We got Chef.
We got Chef today.
Chef, 2014.
Such a good movie.
Jon Favreau. Written, directed. I'm going to hit you with the nerdy shit.
Go ahead.
Out the gate. I don't know if y'all knew, but he did a lot of the cooking in the movie.
Okay.
He worked with a chef. He worked with a chef to learn how to do it. So
did you peep the show that they did after? See? Yeah. I don't know if I told you about it.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know if because we game plan weeks in advance, but
sure.
It's not like it's a companion piece necessarily, but Jon Favreau really fell in love with cooking, like making this movie, yo. So I forget the dude's name, but he's like, I don't know if he's Hawaiian or Southeast Asian dude that helps him on the show that they did. It was the guy that helped him with all the food prep for the movie and shit.
You could tell, like the way he was like dicing stuff
up.
I was like, he focused. And
I think they only used like stunt hands for like two or three scenes in the whole movie. But really dope. So that learning that just makes it that much more authentic. It makes me shit like that makes me like movies more. If like
person dives into the role.
Yeah, like Tarantino used like they bought something like a couple dozen of these like old school cars for Death Proof. Because he wanted to film all the action scenes at 80 miles an hour with cameras rigged to him, which is like fucking unheard of. So anything like that, super authenticity, yo, I'm probably gonna.
You sold, right?
I'm sold, bro. I'm sold. So yeah, I love that shit. But y'all are the professionals in the room, so you know what I'm saying. You got to school us a little bit, like, how authentic is this? Because we got a couple different settings. We have like, I don't know if it's a Michelin star style restaurant, but we have like a high class dining setting. Then we got the food truck setting, and how the main character sees food trucks, he looks at them like it's almost like it's some bottom of the barrel shit. Like he kind of food truck, like why the fuck would I do that? So let us know, like how authentic is this? Yeah.
I don't know if he naturally or necessarily felt that he was maybe above having a food truck, but I think what he wanted and what his idea was a restaurant, was having a spot that was his own. And he felt like that was more of him making it because he had a real business and entity in a space that he could have and run his own kitchen. And I think that's what he figured out, like the food truck, when he finally did get there, like he loved it. But then as soon as he could turn that food truck into a business,
Into
He
an
did.
establishment.
he went
yeah.
back and he did that. So I think it was always about him having his own place, for real, and having something that was just his. But I think it took him some time to get there because he really didn't understand, like, why do I want a food truck? And I don't think back then they were as popular where he was. You know what I'm saying? He's in LA. They're in a high end area. He's, a top chef. Like, he worked his way up to get to where he is. He has a stature behind his name that he wants to leave, and he wants to be remembered. He don't want to be remembered as the food
He
truck
didn't
guy.
want to look at it
He
like a
wants to
step
be
back.
as
Right,
that,
right.
Michelin 5-star chef. Whatever. What was his name? Something Casper.
Yeah,
Carl Casper.
Carl
Carl
Casper.
Casper. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had a following, and he wanted to keep that. So, like, changing that dynamic and then going to the food truck, I feel like in his mind, he's like, yeah, it is somewhat beneath him.
It's crazy how you would like take something that could be perceived as a step back, but really is a step forward, and like be so stuck on the perception that you wouldn't go that way.
But it's also a setup because it was set up for his comeback.
100%.
For sure.
Opportunity.
But I mean, even
Huge opportunity.
It was like the way I saw it. It was like, had that opportunity never came where he got into it with the owner of the restaurant telling him to make that menu, right? He was like, keep the menu the same. He was like, you can only keep an animal caged so long.
Yeah, because we're gonna get back to that menu. Cause
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know what you're capable of. They all know what I'm capable of. You know what to expect. But like in my mind, if I'm an artist, I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah, because you fast forward to the end where he's talking with the food blogger, which is hilarious because I'm sure y'all have watched The Bear.
Yep.
He's
That's a
the
great
fucking
show.
uncle.
Yep.
That, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy how that shit is like somewhat connected, yo. But he's telling him, he's like, yo, you were one of, he's like, bro, I made my name off of your name. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, you were one of the early guys that I was writing about that got me to the position that I'm in. So he's like, bro, what the fuck were you doing cooking this bullshit, yo? Like, you're better than that. Like, so I like everything about this fucking movie. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
For me, this movie reminded me of why I never wanted to go and cook in the kitchen. Because when I started cooking
that's
in
real.
kitchens, I was told early on, like, if you want to have a life, and if you want to, like, have a family, do things outside of this place, don't be here. But I also learned that working in a restaurant is boring because I don't like doing repetitive shit. So me cooking the same menu every day for over a year or whatever with no changes, it's like, chain restaurants. That's where that
it's
stuff
what he
is.
told. It's what he told his son.
He's like, yo, we're in
He
a
said
creative
we're
role.
like robots. You got to be a robot.
Exactly.
Like, it has to be this way every time. Because at the end of the day, you got to think about it. Like, I hate to say it, like, if we go not even to the more fancy restaurants, but if you even dumb it down to like just, if you go to McDonald's, you want it to look like the picture. I don't care that you made it 1,000,000 times. I want it to look like the picture.
You
Like-
want the consistency.
Right.
Because
But that makes it monotonous for the person that appreciates the culinary art, the art part of culinary art.
But that's why you have to be able to understand that and work in an establishment where also the owner understands that. Because if you want to have, that's why seasonal menus are a thing. That's why people cater to the food when it comes out. Like, people ask me all the time, is watermelon in certain things? No, because it's not
in
watermelon season.
Right.
Certain juices, I'm going by the season. So I'm having a menu that's catered towards drinks for the winter. Or, right now it's cold and flu season. Certain things are going to be catered towards the time frame that we're in. Then later on, we'll have different kind of things come out. But you have to understand that. If not, if you have the same menu all the time, yeah, that's fine. But when I come to your restaurant, I come here because I know that you have the same menu, but I also want my food to be consistent. So that means every person back there should cook the same thing all the time. You don't always get that either because you have different people cooking different things or cooking it different ways. So it's very important. And I had this conversation with my dad a couple of weeks ago because my uncle got fired from a restaurant because I think it was like Applebee's or something. He wanted to do stuff differently and cook
that's
stuff differently.
tough.
You can't. You work in a
really
restaurant that's a
can't,
chain.
yeah.
You have an eye and you have a passion and an art for what you do. That's fine. You don't belong here. Because you got to stick to what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can't go off script or go off the menu because it's not your shit.
Or you got to double your efforts if that's how you pay your bills. And you got to be able to do a passion project over here.
But
and
that's why we start our own businesses.
It's hard. Like, I've been in restaurants 2 days before I turned 14 years old.
Okay.
So from dishwashing, prep cook, you name it, I did it. Hand cutting 500 pounds of potatoes, rolling chicken livers and bacon. I did it. So in a sense, I feel like everybody should work at a kitchen at some point in their life because it's essential for life skills, right? But if you don't love to cook, if you don't love food,
Them long hours ain't for you.
Yo,
you just go because it will literally destroy you.
yeah.
So it's like,
Look at what he tells his son. Yeah, I mean, because like other things obviously led to the divorce and shit, like extra girlfriend, long hours, all the other shit.
Right.
But yo, when he pulls his son to the side and he's like, "Yo, do you love this?" Yeah, well, I do. He's like, "This is how." Like, yo, he telling this 12-year-old kid, like, "This is how I eat." Basically, like, this is my fucking life. Like, yeah, I fucked up with your mom. I may have fucked up as a father, but this is the shit that makes me go. So,
yeah, and
if you're not willing to go that hard,
it's like, and it's the sacrifice. Like I watch time and time again. Like I know people personally that this is what they do. It consumes their life. They're from city to city, and they make it happen. This is what they do.
Word.
But this is what they're dedicated to. So then you have a person who, let's say you could go to a Johnson and Wales, right? Go to Johnson and Wales. I get my culinary degree. I went to Johnson and Wales. I'm a chef now. So then you go into a kitchen.
They don't care nothing about that shit.
And you got little Steven, who's been working in this restaurant for 2 years and has no culinary training, and he's dancing a circle around
you. Yep.
Because this is what he wants to do. This is his way out, and you're just like, I'm a chef. It's more than that. It's a lifestyle. It's and it's people confuse it. You confuse it just like any other profession. You get involved. You love something like, yeah, this is it. But if you're not going to eventually, move on or start your own business in this field, get out.
Yeah.
And see, when you're in school, they teach you about the art of culinary arts. They teach you the history of food, where it comes from, the origins. They don't teach you about how to work in a restaurant. They don't teach you about how to be a line cook and how to be fast, the tempos that you need to have. We have 6 hours of a lab. We went to the same school, by the way.
Yeah.
So we have 6 hours of a lab where I'm not just cooking. We eventually get there, but I'm having a 2-hour PowerPoint in the first 6 hours just on the history. And then we're going into maybe knife skills, or then we're going to go to product identification. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff, depending on what class you're taking, that you learn first. So for me, it was a little bit different because it was like, okay, I enjoy cooking, but I'm not always enjoying the history lessons. It's nice to learn, though, because I'm interested in all that. It's nice to be able to understand mother sauces, where certain things come from, just the origins, you know what I'm saying? Like how a lot of stuff is based off French cuisine and the breakdowns of how all of that, because to me, 2 universal languages besides fitness is food, right? Those are the 2 ways, the 2 things that anybody understands is eating and working out, or eating and some type of themselves or whatever. So I feel like it's important, but you have to really love what you do, because it can be, the passion can be taken out of it. If you work in a restaurant, you get treated like shit. Your chefs talk to you like shit, which they do. They feel like they own you. It could be very disrespectful. You will lose the passion in those parts of the job because it's not what you signed up for. But you also got to understand that the person that is the owner or the restaurant, tier, the person that has this place, they're putting their baby in your hands. And so you got to also understand what that means and not just think that, oh, I'm here because this is a job. No, you're here to learn, but also to make something of yourself, because it's a lot working in restaurants. It's not easy.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, because I know we talked like right before the camera went on about who we mutually agreed was like a jerk. The initial restaurant owner.
Yeah, Reva.
So when art meets commerce, for lack of better words, you know what I mean? Like oftentimes the creative people don't have the money, but there's somebody that can monetize your creativity. So with you guys, how would you feel when it comes to like expansion for your businesses or like funding? Like if somebody popped up and was like, but they had these stipulations.
Written contract.
So what I can say is this. It's happened to me numerous times that people have come to me like, yo, you got this thing. I want to invest in you, but it's like I didn't do this to work for anybody. I did this because I wanted to do it for myself. And too often, like, you get involved with you see the dollar signs, like, oh, I can do this, I'll have this. But like you said, the contract, reading the fine lines. Because at the end of the day, like, this is the only way I can explain it is like, I can't make the best macaroni and cheese in the world. Because if I make you macaroni and cheese, and I say this is the best that I can do, you're going to eat my macaroni and cheese, and you're going to compare it to the best macaroni and cheese that you've ever had.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? But that's a perspective. But like, to make it, I believe, like, to be successful in this, like, you have to have a niche. You have to have a niche, and you have to be able to produce it at low cost, efficiently, and fast.
Yeah.
Because that's the world we live in.
So if somebody was like the food blogger was, that was just like, yo, I'm willing to bankroll, but you
Do
know,
what you
like,
want.
you have creative freedom.
Yeah.
Would you be rolling? Because I know you said, I'm only asking you that because you said it was something you wanted to do for self. Because I feel like you,
Like,
in my opinion, you still be doing it for yourself.
But is it? I guess I have to say, like, is it genuine?
That's what I was just about to bring up. Yeah.
You have to, like, you get involved, because I can't see myself going to another man or just a person in general and being like, yeah, like, you got me this and that, and then you understand what I'm saying, and then I drop the ball.
Well, my thing is, like,
let's say I drop the ball, then what?
Okay, I was just watching a show earlier, and somebody was saying, like, he was partnering in the business with somebody, but what he brought to the business was sweat equity. So I mean, at the end of the day, at that point, you're bringing your talent to it. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm rhyming and you're making the beats, like, that's our marriage on that. On the business of that music, you know what I mean? So, like, if it's me and I was like, yo, like, I seen this space, I just ran into a bunch of money, I want to invest, like, yo, I really believe in what you do food wise, and like, I'd like to partner with you for you to be able to get, like, I don't cook, I believe in your ability, but we could, like, be able to make some money if you get a space, you make a step, like, you see what I mean? Like,
yes, so I can say yes or no, but at the end of the day, it comes down to it: is it genuine? Because at the end of the day, everybody's doing something for something. Everybody wants something.
Well, I mean, that'd be for money.
Right, of course it's for money, but like this, you being a genuine person coming to me like, yo, Chris, I got this spot. Let's do this. Boom, 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 right? 9 times out of 10, I say, like, just this area in general, unless you have a pizza place, a Chinese restaurant.
Most restaurants fail within the first year anyway.
Right, but just it's a dying game, but I'm just saying, pizza, Chinese restaurant, or like the occasional Jamaican restaurant, right?
Some type of Caribbean cuisine.
Let's take the chains away.
Little bit better than fast food, but not as good as fine dining.
Let's take the chains away. You don't make it. I mean, like, yes, like, those places come around where you can go get that good food. You know what I'm saying? That meal, but it's like, are you gonna do that every day? Are you gonna do that every day? But that's how these businesses survive.
Right.
So that's why it's easy to go to get a slice of pizza for $5.
Because it's everyday eating.
Simple.
Or honestly, you have a breakfast spot.
Yes.
Breakfast spot, coffee place. You sell pastries, donuts, breakfast sandwiches, something like that. Once you have that, it's on the go. It's convenient. It's easier. You know what I mean? Me personally, I feel like if somebody was to be like, hey, I love what you're doing and I want to back you, we need to have a conversation about stipulations and boundaries. Because if I've already started and invested in myself and you want to then come behind me, that's fine. But, like, what are we doing together? And what is going to change from what I've been doing now? But also, again, like, I have boundaries. So those have to be put into play, but also the stipulations, because if something changes, this contract needs to be revisited. We need to have another sit down to re-talk about what's happening. You're not going to come to tell me, oh, shit's changed. Motherfucker, what's changed? Without us having a conversation. That really pissed me off when he came to him and said that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. Because he was definitely just, like, altering things and being like he wasn't doing what they agreed to. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But two, it's like, you got to think of it at the end of the day, right? You're always replaceable. Because you see, the minute he left,
he got the other one.
Yeah, he had his mans.
Just like that.
Yep.
Granted, his man had loyalty and left whatever, but still
One of them.
that quick. So that's another thing. We start this successful business. I'm going. I gave you the blueprint.
It's a dog eat dog world.
You can go do it again. I don't have the money to do it. You can go do it again, and I can't stop you. So then I think about it. You know, you think about all the hard work and time and effort that you put into something. This is my baby. You know what I'm saying? This is my, and I do this. And then just because you're more financially stable than me or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I'm the heart and blood.
I put it on my back. And you go, you know what? We're going to take this blueprint. We're going to do it over here. We're going to take this blueprint. We're going to do it over here.
I get that. I guess like, and I mean, I guess it gets more intricate, especially with like I'm looking at the juices. So like with the juice, like I'm like, yo, if you're putting up $2,000 into materials and you're making your money back and you're able to reinvest, so on and so forth, I'm like, yo, somebody pulled up and was like, yo, I got 50. And like now you can raise your profile to the point that like you don't have to do that coupled with your job, but you can do it to the point that it's able to sustain with you doing it full time. And now like, man, like I ain't gonna front. Like I've drank naked juices. I hate them joints. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
straight sugar. Yeah.
So if this gets in Target next to that, or that's in Trader Joe's, I'm like, oh, we out of here. You see what I'm saying? So in my head, I'm like, yo, if you go on Shark Tank and the $50,000 investment or whatever, and you're like, yo, this is gonna like 20x my business. I'm wondering like where the wrestling is with that, because I understand. Like, I mean, the same thing. That's why I related to music, because you'd be like, oh man, I want to stay independent, but sometimes it's good to do business.
Yeah, that's why I respect. Even though it's a funny ass scene, because like everybody in this movie is like connected in a way. Jon Favreau directed fucking Iron Man, got Robert Downey Jr.'s comeback and all that good shit. So it's funny seeing him pop up in this. He's in and out, yo, mad quick, mad shots fired, all that fucking funny ass shit. But that's like the first sign of somebody other than his wife. Robert Downey Jr. was just like, bro, just cook. Like, trying to help a brother out, essentially, you know, via our shared ex-wife,
Lord,
which is crazy,
Listen, that shit was mad
which is crazy.
That takes a lot.
Yeah, but they believed, yo, like between Robert Downey, his wife, and the food blogger, like, nah, they were very much like, here's either the with his wife, here's the loving, caring, like push from that angle, but then from the investment side, yo, it's two guys that were literally like, dog, we really just love your food. And maybe, I don't know for Robert Downey, but for the food blogger, like, I fuck with you, the individual. Do what you want to do. I just want to be there to see it happen, yo. Because you see him at the end where he's trying to take little samples and shit. And they're like, nah, nigga, back off, yo. It's just like, yo, I just want to be around some fly shit. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
really wish at the end they had his ex-boss come.
oh, like, I would have loved to see, like,
Just so he could have
if
seen the
Galloway's
success.
was doing fucking, if, like, sales were down or maybe they closed up shop.
Anything.
Yeah, anything.
I was like, that kind of pissing me off.
And
Like,
the funny-
I wanted to see that.
And the funny thing is, in life, like, that's not gonna happen.
Mm.
Like, the sales aren't gonna be down. At the end of the day, like, you know what I mean? Like if this dude wants to do something that's more seasonal, more creative, like there's a place for that, but there's a place for the other thing too.
Oh, yeah, for
Like
sure.
now, ain't no food blogger gonna go to Longhorns, but Longhorns isn't trash. See what I'm saying? It's just
debatable. I don't
No.
know. You've seen them posts, but yeah.
no. I'm saying prior to that, but I'm saying like Longhorns is not McDonald's.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So if that's what that guy, like, I hate to say it, but you're not able to do what he did, because what he did to Casper is wrong. Like, they had an agreement and they agreed clearly. Casper
he castrated him in front of his whole fucking kitchen, bro. That shit was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But did he do something wrong though?
the
As
reason
an owner, not necessarily.
yes, he did.
He did.
He
think
did
so?
because he changed their agreement under false pretenses. Because at the end of
Just
the day,
because of a review.
well, not even because of the review, because it was prior to the review. He was saying
that he put on the menu. He's like, nobody wanted the fucking animal guts or whatever the fuck you were doing.
he's just saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I loved his analogy, because his analogy was great. Like
People
at the end of
what
the
did he
day,
say? People
if you
showed
come,
up for
if you
this?
come to
Yeah.
the, he said if you come to the show, like play the hits. Like at the end
Yeah.
of the day, you would be mad as a fan, and I think that's a great analogy
felt that.
because if you flip
I
that,
respect
if
it,
you
yeah.
flip that to you guys who are the professionals, but you make yourself the consumer going to a concert, if your favorite artist did not play the
I
hits,
felt
you'd
that
be
because
tight.
of that. I've been to a concert recently and I was mad as fuck. Like, why didn't we play any songs off of this album? But you
Yeah.
played the album while you went in the back to go get your clothes changed.
Yeah,
I paid
50
money to
didn't
come
do the
see
third
you
verse on Mini Man. I was
for
tight.
what?
and that,
That's crazy.
I was tight.
so when you think of that, I'm like,
That's why I
oh,
was like, damn.
like he has a point there,
That
but
hit
that's
different.
not how you like that. That point is amazing in a meeting. That point
Okay.
is not like I'm gonna tell you how it is, and this is why you need to change
like
it.
I said, yeah.
like yo, things are changing, huh?
But how can you say that if you own this and this is yours?
No, you don't own it.
No, I'm saying the guy, the
It's
owner,
Reva, yeah.
Reva, he owned it. That was his spot, right? So the
Okay,
blogger,
I
whatever
get
the
where you at.
situation happened, right? And I say stick to your greatest hits because this is what they come here for. And you get mad at me and you're like, well, I want to do this.
I got some
this.
new slaps.
I got
yeah.
And I say no. And we have that altercation going back and forth.
I think it's important how you lead.
But it's
'Cause-
also the
go
whole
ahead.
period of how that happened. If you want to be technical, Casper should have had a conversation with him in general about wanting to
Prior.
change the menu for
Prior
that
to
night.
it. Yeah.
They should have met earlier before he even came to the staff because you're prepping your staff for some shit that you don't even know if you got the okay for.
Yeah, see the thing is, that
Yeah,
like
it's
yo,
a-
there's
it's a
there's a chain of
communication.
disrespect. So he wants him to talk to him a certain way, but he's not going to him. He was trying to do it behind his back, but now he's mad that he's disrespecting him in front of his staff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he should have went to him. He
It
should have
probably
been
could've
forthright.
solved where it's
They
like, listen,
both
we know
don't
the food
respect each other.
bloggers come in. Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
listen, you're
It's
the,
been
you're the
years.
front of the house. I'm the chef.
Mhm.
You own it. I cook it. That's that.
And that's not fair. Like
They
you
don't-
have to
they
work
don't
in
respect each
concert.
other.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you work in concert, what he should have said, like, and I hate when people do that in regular life, like when you actually wait until you're pissed to say how you really feel. Because he waited till he was pissed to be like, oh, we're in a creative rut. You should have been said that.
Mhm.
You felt that way. You felt that way months ago. Because you've been making the same thing, the same lava cake. You've been making that for 6 months. So you should have been like, yo, I understand the success, but is there a way that we could do a seasonal promotion so that we can start to integrate some new items into
Yeah,
the
because
menu
as a chef,
and we
you
can
would
start to
know
give
that.
and we can start to give this thing a little bit of change. You know, I want people to understand that we have some mainstays. So I understand like you're doing business, I'm doing art. So somewhere in the middle, we gotta meet. So at the end of the day, if you look at say like our top 3 or 4 items, you say the top financially performing 4 items, those always stay. But can we get everything under that we can kind of rotate out and like that's a negotiation. That's being business
Or
partners.
make a twist on some of the classics with a little bit of
Yeah.
here to highlight for the season. You know what I mean?
That's all
But
negotiation
it's
and
all
and communication.
That's it.
Communication,
Just having
yeah.
communication. Maybe they can have their own meeting once a month. You know what I mean? Or yeah, we should have had this meeting a couple months ago to roll out a new menu
Or a
This is what's
calendar,
happening.
certain days that you do different stuff.
because he was trying to avoid him when he came in there.
Right.
He was
Yeah,
trying to rush.
100%.
He's
through
trying to do it
his-
behind his back.
his stuff with his staff
Mm-hmm.
before he even came. That's why I showed he's like he's coming. He's like no, give me a few minutes. If you actually would have like did what you need to do, you could have avoided all of that.
And
Maybe
that's
he tried it before.
But that's when I feel like people are getting taken advantage of, like, because it's like cool. Like, you could feel like the owner is taking advantage of him for his talent, or he could say he's taking advantage of him for the money. You know what I mean? Like, it's both on both sides.
y'all
'cause they-
using each other. You
Exactly.
need this restaurant, so you have him, and he needs to cook and wants his own shit, so he has you.
yeah,
Everybody needs something. That's what it comes down to.
communication is important in business.
But he was
Business,
working there for a long time though, a couple years, and
Yeah,
so
that's
that's
like
it's like
10.
a decade. Yeah,
I think it was
decade.
his son's whole life.
exactly, and so that's the other thing too. It's like you've been here long enough to know, like you made a name for yourself. Why are you so afraid to start your own? Why are you so afraid to actually go
People
out?
get
on
used
your
to stuff.
own?
Yeah.
People
Because
get used to stuff.
which is fine, but you know that you're better than this. He can't give you what it took you
Yo.
from having him basically fire you or you kind of quitting and then having a whole blown out episode. You
Listen,
mentally breaking down
that menu.
for you to go.
I wanted to talk
Crazy.
about that real quick. The menu in the beginning, because yeah, the nigga cooked it twice. He cooked it once for prep and then second time out of spite. That shit was amazing. And it's just like, it gets me mad because I know it's a movie, but it's like, yo, if Reva would have saw that, bro, nobody's ordering nothing else on the old menu,
But the
dog.
thing is, he's doing business.
I wish he would have messaged the dude, like, meet me at this address. That's honestly in my head what I thought this was kind of going. Like, he's like, pull up on me here.
If he would have hit food blog on the road, that would have been
fire. Because I'm like, okay,
that's the
what are we doing with all
2024
this?
version of the movie, yo.
My man made a whole spread, and what do we do with it? Nothing.
To impress the
Who ate
shorty.
it?
To impress shorty.
Or not, or at that point
by
for
himself.
himself. Now he was.
Oh,
by
you talking about the
himself,
second time?
Because listen, there's a bunch of because you said the
That's
grilled
another-
cheese.
ooh, that's another-
that pasta. I forget you know what that's called because I've seen that remade a million times, yo. But it's one of those pastas you can make in like 12 minutes, yo.
Yeah, it's called like
Aglioli or some shit like
it's
that.
Like garlic.
Yeah,
It's garlic, crushed red pepper,
Yup.
parsley, and like Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
Butter.
simple,
Typical like white wine
simple.
Yeah.
based pasta.
Listen, I'm about to go to the. I got pasta already. Listen,
But
yo,
I mean,
Do you like sun dried tomatoes?
yeah,
That would be good with that.
with
too.
that, yep. Okay.
but I mean, you seen how like women took a liking to him because he was like completely
Attractive.
enthralled in his
He's him.
passion.
Women love passion.
No, that's why I was like,
He's him.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think
he
He's
has
that
it.
nigga. Yeah.
Like
I
he
think
knows
all
who he
people
is.
love passion.
Honestly, yeah.
It's attractive when
It's
you
attractive,
see someone
yeah.
doing what
That's
they
what I
love.
wanted to
but
get
also
to.
the fact
Word.
that you know how to handle your shit, the way that you fucking flipping that shit at the wrist, the saute, the way that you chop.
Her watching him
your
cook,
effort
she
is
was
so
into that.
effortless.
Sold it.
Aphrodisiac.
But I think it like you know, like you were saying, like we were saying about seeing somebody in that, like it's risky when you pick a person for yourself and they don't have that,
Mhm.
because you be looking at them like you ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, you don't got nothing
Like,
that
and-
makes you
and-
go.
And when somebody pops up that does have a passion, they seem way more attractive.
Yeah, and you just
Word.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's tough. Like you know what I mean? Like I seen how Sophia gravitated to him. I seen how I forgot the name of the girl that was the one that he was cooking
Yeah,
for
Scarlett
prior.
Johansson. Yep.
Scarlett Johansson. Like I seen how they gravitated to him while he was gravitating to the food. It's just dope. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I
But
just
that's what made them believe in him.
100%.
Because of how confident he was in that space. Because
Yeah.
he loved that. You know what I'm saying? I work a full-time job and I come home and I still do this or cook and meal prep for my clients. I be tired of shit. But it's because I love what I do.
Shit
That
fuels
it's
you.
nothing for me. I don't want to cook in restaurants, but I want to do what I want to do. So that's why I do my own thing, because it's satisfying. I cook based on what you want, not for what I want. I'm not eating for me. This is for you. I'm catering to your needs.
it's fire.
Yeah, that's
So,
ill. Yeah,
That's what
that's
I'm
ill.
doing. That's why when people ask me, what do you want to eat? I'll make you what you want. Or,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's
That's so true. When people they go like, oh well,
what are your specialties?
what are your specialties? And I just say, well, what do you like to eat?
Mhm.
Because I do this.
Mhm.
So like it's tell me what you like.
And I have
you
allergies,
Tell me
too.
2, 3. I'm like,
You
okay.
get it from
Yeah,
there.
your brain
and I'm
just start.
gonna
Yeah.
okay.
And for me, I
Boom,
have
boom,
food
boom,
allergies,
boom.
but I don't limit myself. I can wear gloves. I can put on things that, can do that, but I'm still never going to limit what I love to do based off of something that I can't have.
Exactly.
But if you know food, if you know flavor profiles, that is also helps. You know what I'm saying? Really understanding. That's why one
What
of my
blends?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can cook any culture of food because I understand the flavor profiles and what they use. I understand the ingredients. I don't have to be from there to make it, but me being able to make something from your culture will bring us closer together.
That's dope.
That's why I like shows like Master Chef and
Love them
like,
shows.
yeah.
But you know what though? Something like I don't know. Certain shows I like. I don't
Can't get behind?
I can't buy it. Like I can't because I think about myself being inside the kitchen. Like when they do what's the show with Homeboy where he goes in the kitchens or disasters.
Oh, you talk about bar
Gordon,
rescue?
Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, you
Oh,
talk
Kitchen
about
Nightmare?
like
Kitchen Nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
hey,
Or
no,
when-
You already know Bar Rescue. That's our shit.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
Yeah, Bar Rescue is
the
a
other
John
one.
Taffer.
Which
That's
one?
my
Shut
guy.
it down.
That's my guy.
What's the other chef that came to do it? I
Robert
met him.
Irvine.
Yes, him.
Yeah.
He was good too, but it's also like some stuff was just unrealistic that you're teaching people or giving them. If they've had failing restaurants for this long time, you coming in to change stuff in like 2 days.
It may not
It's
be a problem with the
gonna
food.
be,
It's the accounting.
Yeah.
everything. like realistically,
Word.
it's not gonna be everything.
You heat this up in the microwave.
They'd be like, yeah. Every time.
No stove in the back.
Yo, yeah, there's a few of those.
Need some
bad,
We
crazy
just
joke.
got one
real
hot
bad.
plate
Mm.
and a toaster oven.
But definitely, like, especially too, like, I think about, like, when he was on the road with his son when they were inside the food truck, right?
Mhm.
And it's like the part where everything like meshed. I think they like stopped in like Tallahassee, not Tallahassee. Where
New
was
Orleans,
it? No,
not the New
where
Orleans.
where
stuff.
old boy
Oh,
was-
Austin.
Was it Austin?
Yeah, they stopped in
When he
Texas.
stopped with the guy with the barbecue.
Because that dude's
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
real
Aaron-
barbecue.
Aaron
Aaron something. Yeah.
When he got
so
those
he's a
four.
pit master.
Gotcha, yeah.
Okay, so like I think about that, and I think about like the beginning of like when I started, I was selling plates, right? And I was doing it. I was like, okay, make a little bit of money, but then I was like, okay, I got to regroup. How can I? So I threw the menu, a cater menu out in all the forums. And I was like, okay, I got some really good feedback, and then people started calling me to do cater. Like, hey, are you? I was like, absolutely.
Mhm.
And then it's like when your dreams come true, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing,
Word.
the feeling that you get is unreal. So like that ties into like, yeah, like I work a full-time job. There's sometimes like if I have a catering on the weekend, sometimes I won't sleep.
Listen,
I won't. I
so
will work
motherfucking tired.
7 to 3:30. I get out of work. All my stuff will be prepped, ready to go. I will not sleep until the following day when I'm done with the job because I'm cooking benis in the oven for 12 slow roast,
you can't
12
go to sleep.
like it's because everything has to be perfect.
And you have to watch it. You know, you definitely have to keep an eye on it.
Word.
And that's the thing, like he said, I'm a personal trainer, so sometimes I have clients that I meet right after work to go to the gym, or I'll be like, listen, I need to go home, make some juices real quick. I got orders. Then I'll meet them afterwards. It'd be a lot. The hustle is real.
That's dope.
It's real. But again, I'd rather be doing that shit than go to my regular job.
Yes,
But I gotta
for real.
go to my
Hear
regular
that?
job because it's what pays the bills.
It's
Exactly.
using that to just fund
Got
to
it.
fund your dreams, yo. That's where most of us are at, yo. Honestly, that's real.
Dang. So when I think of that, I mean, like, obviously, the way you guys describe your schedule, I know you don't have children, right?
No.
No.
I don't even have a dog. I wish. But I don't have enough time for
I was
me,
about to
let
say.
alone to have a fucking puppy.
Because I seen him make a lot of, I hate to say it, but a lot of false promises.
Mhm.
And I think he meant well half the time, but it's just like the hustle and bustle. He was so go.
It was
on the
hard.
chase.
I
Yeah.
feel like to a degree, maybe he meant well, but at the same time, this boy is just saying, I want to go with you to the store.
Yeah.
Instead of like you saying, no, you can't get anything, take the time to teach him like you were doing because he's interested. He just wants to have a relationship with you. You know what I mean? I feel like he could have done a better job at just understanding, like, he just wants to spend time with you. He wants to come to work with you. You could have started teaching him how to cook at the restaurant.
He had that line. His son was just like, he's like, I like doing this, and he's like, what? He's like, nah, just like,
Just like being around
He
and
wanted to
figuring
say
stuff out
bonding, but
together.
yeah, he just
Yeah.
kept adding
Just
the
hanging
I
out.
just want
You
to
know,
hang
just
out,
father
figure
and
shit
son,
out
like,
together.
Stuff we did like at the
Yeah.
house.
But also
Yep.
too, you can't. I don't know. Don't quote me on this, but when you're chasing your dreams, you can't make promises to nothing and nobody.
You can't even keep them really for
You can't-
yourself.
Because you got to be realistic. Like I could get up and be like, I'm gonna do this, and this.
And sometimes-
I can't control what the day brings.
Mhm.
It's a lot of it is reacting, and especially if you're in it, you know,
You gotta
If
keep
there's a
making
detour,
adjustments.
you got to take that
you're
road.
only human.
And that messes up a promise that you said, oh, I'll pick you up at 4:00. Like you
Yeah.
thought that.
right.
But then all of a sudden the phone ring at 2:30 that you got to drive this way to go pick these
Yep.
ingredients up from this place. I get
Somebody else called, added something else to the plate. Like, nigga,
Mhm. Exceptions.
it's a
anything
lot.
like
And
that,
sometimes
yeah.
it's about boundaries too, which is again what we're working on, is being able to understand. Like for me, right? Somebody had texted me earlier, and they was like, "Hey, looking for your help with the dinner at the church," and I'm like, "When?" And then they said Sunday, and I'm like, "This Sunday, I got an event that I'm vending for on Friday. I have this right now. I gotta finish getting ready for Friday. The only day I would have is Saturday." And I'm just like, damn, how can I make this work? How can I make it work? Because I don't want to say no. You ask for two
Right.
things.
Sometimes
but
you
it's
have
still-
to though.
And that's why I'm trying to work on it, right? So I'm like, okay. So I had to make a phone call because I'm like, I need details. So I found out the date wasn't for this Sunday. It was for 2 weeks from now. So I said, okay, we could work on that. That's fine. But I had to make a decision because it's still like, okay, I want to do this, but I can't always overextend myself because it's just me. So eventually, like the burnout, you know what I mean? But I also want to be able to have time for me. And I don't always want to think that like anytime somebody hits me up, you're just going to get whatever you want. Or that you have constant, I'm fulfilling all of the needs, you know what I mean? Because at some point I still have to make sure the only way that I'm good for any of y'all is as good as I am to myself.
So,
I mean, you gotta always be willing to remind yourself of all the times you said yes. Because I mean, it's a terrible feeling to say no to someone when you're used to being able to help people. And it's also a terrible feeling when you see that look on their face because people act like you never said yes the first time you say it. The first time you're like saying, it's not going to be able to work out. They're like, the nerve of you. But what you have to comfort yourself with on that walk away is like, yo, I've said yes 100 times. Like, I deserve this one. It's okay. And it's only because it just doesn't make sense.
Or
Like, it's not like you're just being a dick to somebody and picking them out the bunch. Like, you are the one I'll deny. Like, it's not like that.
so, you guys referenced like being like efficient in the kitchen, stuff like that, and we spoke to a couple of the dishes. So, yo, what is it about like simple food? Most of the food that we saw them cook, it's shit that can be cooked relatively quick. Like I know they do the Cubano, so like roasting the pork obviously takes the longest, but like it's a sandwich essentially.
right.
We saw them when they went to Texas. They got the briskets. Oh, instead of doing that, let's do sliders with that. You know, they pivoted in every city that they went to. But yo, what is it about simple food that we gravitate towards? Because like, couple things about this movie, the Twitter and the food truck thing. This was like two things at the same time, like lightning in a bottle. Like they showed fucking. That's probably the best use of social media in a movie I think that I've seen.
Bro.
Just hands down, like
Right.
peak Twitter.
Yo,
So-
could you imagine if y'all were like in school at that time? Like that
We
would have
were in
been like,
college at that time.
Word.
oh my, it's like
We
a
were in college.
blueprint to like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
It shit is
You're
nuts.
not there. You're not there.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember Mama Kim's.
Where
Mama Kim's food truck. They used to have
right, the pink food truck.
yeah, because they used to have a bunch of food trucks, right? So every time we used to get out, like probably junior, senior year, there would be mad food trucks, and it would be to the point where they would have Twitter, and they would be like, "Hey, meet us here," and they would always have different times and different days where you could go follow them, because sometimes you'd be like, "Damn, I want that," and you
Yeah,
have
they
to
might
go,
be- yeah,
you
they might
know,
be
different
across
places
town,
around the
right?
city
Yeah,
at
yeah.
different colleges. You know what I'm saying, for their lunch rushes or whatever. But to answer your question, is the ease and convenience. So it's because think about it, right? Sandwiches, you don't have to do much.
Because
It
that's
doesn't
one of
take
my
that long.
things. Yeah, sandwiches I bust
Sandwiches
down. I
can
could
be
live
really
off
good.
that. Yeah.
But again, you know, takes you 2 seconds. You can eat that in your car.
Mhm.
Eat when you walk.
Yeah.
It's not something
Yeah,
that's
hands,
too messy.
yeah, yep.
It's
But also,
handheld.
also too, it's just like you got to think about it. If I'm going out of my way to go get something and I'm paying my money for it,
Mhm.
it's something that I like. It's something that I want fast, and I can just go.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, because yo, most of the food that's popular, it like,
Simple.
and yo, burgers, sandwiches, like we said, pizza, like these are all shit, 4 or 5 ingredients, 15, 20 minutes in the oven or whatever, and you're good
how
to
it's-
go. Yeah.
it's, you know, like you said, like the barbecue, right? Like how he barbecued that meat, right?
Mhm. That brisket was
You
looking
can get
fire.
you can
yo.
get the same you can get the same ingredients, right?
Mhm.
But you don't have that smoker
right.
that has
Right.
that flavor.
That's been
That's
seasoned
been seasoned.
thousands of hours, yo. Yeah.
So
Going
yep.
low and slow for
that's
a long time.
that's those are the kind of things that you can't
You-
replicate.
Yeah,
you
can't
can try.
Yeah.
You can
yeah.
put it
But
on
it's
the grill,
never
but it's
gonna
not
be
gonna
the
be the
same.
same.
That's a
You know what
fact.
I'm saying?
Mm.
So that's why that just ties it back into what I was saying before. It's like I can't make the best macaroni and cheese
Mhm.
because I know there might be somebody down south
Mhm.
with the
That
auntie.
perfect-
Yeah, I was
aunt
about to
that-
say-
perfected
that-
their roux. That's too crazy.
The roux, yeah, the
Right?
roux is
the roux's
secret.
unmatched.
Yeah.
Think
Yeah,
about it.
that's
It's
real
like
shit.
also too, it's the presentation,
Mhm.
how it's presented, because it can be
Eat with your eyes first.
the simplest thing,
Mhm.
and people you just look at it and go,
Like,
wow,
it's-
what's that?
Yeah, like yo,
Very
there could
easy
be
to
5 taco
elevate
trucks
it.
lined.
And I'll also be the simplest
I-
thing,
I was
and you
trying
look at
not
it,
to
that's
go
what
there.
is that?
You stupid, yo.
Whatever.
Bruh.
But I was gonna say there's
I
if
get
there's
to it
5,
after.
yeah, we'll get to it after, yo. But yeah, if there's 5 taco trucks lined up next to each other, yo, there's definitely some shit where I'd be like, yeah, not those tacos, But these ones, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
The ingredients, the way they're advertised, the
yeah,
smells.
the smells.
You eat with your eyes before anything
Yeah,
else. If I see
eyes,
something that
nose.
looks
Like
janky,
this.
I'm not gonna eat it.
It could be as simple as the way that it's worded.
Mhm.
Like it could be you're looking at 2 taco trucks, right? And it could say beef tacos, $1, right?
Mhm.
And then you look at the next truck and it says
Carne
Carne
asada.
asada.
carne
Yep.
asada or marinated shredded beef.
Yeah.
And you're gonna
Video.
go, oh, I want
You're
that.
gonna-
and literally
It's
they're
over.
gonna be like, this is $3. And it's literally the same thing as this,
Mhm.
but it's just the way that they worded it
Mhm.
and marketed it.
It's real shit.
I mean, that's the same thing. I seen that meme about 50 when he was talking about a bottle of water costing he was like, yo, it costs
$7 on
he's
the
like
day.
costs $7 on a plane, it costs this much here, this much there. He's like sometimes it's just like it's where the item is.
where
It's
it's
the
at,
same
yeah, yeah.
item.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
So
Charging
that
for
goes with the
convenience
wording and the
shit.
marketing and all the stuff.
It's all
you know what I mean?
marketing. Because think about it. How many different types of bread is in the grocery store? 1,000.
Ridiculous.
And that's the thing. So like when you look at a box of Chewy bars, 100 calories versus the regular ones. One's advertised as one being less because of the sugar, right?
Mm.
When in actuality they lessen the sugar but up the fat. So which one is really better for you? The original.
Mm.
But you wouldn't know that because they don't teach you that. So they put 15,000 on the shelf. So now you just filter and which one do I want? This sounds better. Or this, because it says that this is 50% reduced fat.
It's just
or
what do you
whatever.
want to buy.
Yeah.
Right.
You think that it's okay, so you get it, but they don't. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
just
how
more shit.
Even with
that's
the
how they get
organic
you with
labels,
word.
That's how they get you with that.
Yes.
You don't pay attention and read
Yeah.
it.
And sometimes the shit's really not organic.
The cage free versus organic versus USDA this and it's
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so
levels
play
to this.
Mhm.
with your mind.
It's real shit. Yeah, that's how
killing
yo.
us for a
If you
long
look at
time.
like food history, it's like all the commercials that we had growing up with Got Milk. Yo, they were just trying to boost. They were trying to sell more milk. Yo, fucking pork, the other white meat. I remember that shit. That's definitely aging us. Yo, fucking
Oh my god.
yeah. Like I'm still young enough to
Yeah, the
remember
Got
that
Milk
shit. I'm old
campaign.
enough to
Yeah.
remember that shit.
But
But like
Milk campaign was crazy.
was nuts.
All the
Yo,
time,
was
yo.
nuts. But like you see it with like with seafood. Yeah, that's how like. You hear people, you hear seafood snobs talk about, oh, I don't eat tilapia or fucking this because it's
Farm
bottom
raised
feeder
fish.
and shit
Yep,
like
farm
that.
raised,
But like, yo, you go to some restaurants, yeah, it's a $30 plate, yo, for some tilapia. And it's
Yep.
like, yo, this is
And it might be seared, grilled, has a nice
Yeah.
little lemon sauce. They
Mhm.
Sly fish. They get you with some farm raised sly fish. You won't even
Yeah.
know.
they talk shit all the
Sa-
time.
dude,
between
salmon
haddock
and other things,
cod.
farm raised
Farm-
versus wild caught. Yep.
Haddock versus cod. In a restaurant, you might see cod on the menu. Oh, I don't eat that. I only eat haddock. This is just a broke down version.
It's a
of
broke
that.
down version.
That's
yeah.
why they have it here, 'cause it's
Yeah,
cheaper.
real shit.
Right.
And you might not even know they advertise it as haddock, but it could have been cod the whole time.
Mm.
Real shit.
The way that they engineer, they're modifying different foods,
Mm-hmm.
grinding them up, gluing them back
Going back together, baby carrots is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah.
I watched a video one time, a dude with a 3D printer, and he made a ball of cabbage.
Oh nah.
And he emulated it in the water. Like it's on YouTube. And he just made it and literally cut it, 3D print it, and it.
Nah, that's crazy.
Cabbage.
Yeah, get that out of here. Get that out of
That's
here.
scary.
It's wild.
That's super wild, bro.
That's fucking scary.
That's yeah.
And you never know.
That shit make you
Mm-mm.
think, yo.
You never know.
Yeah.
But just think about it. Like what, 25 years ago, the commercials we used to see, the surges, all the
Yeah.
sugar, the candy, and now look,
Food advertisement used to be way
it's
different.
banned. So those foods are banned in different countries.
Yeah.
But
That's
not here.
wild.
Banned. So they telling you in other countries they're killing you. Oh, well, red dye number 10 is linked to ADHD and
Mm-hmm.
But that's why the rates of people in their lives are different in other countries. That's why people aren't. Yes, they don't have the best health care, but
They're living a
have
little bit
better
longer.
food.
Yeah, but
And
they
they're
might be
eating
living
better.
longer.
you know what I mean?
right,
Like they
right.
have better nutrition because their stuff isn't the same. They don't have a lot of GMO shit here. You know what I mean? And a lot of the things here is about convenience. I need my food to be grown right now instead of me waiting for a year.
absolutely.
That's how people act.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and again, people think, what we was talking about earlier, people think that eating healthy is a lot of money or it's expensive. It's really not. They have grocery stores now where you can go and get good produce, but you have to know what you're looking for. Know how to read a food label. A lot of people
And-
don't understand that either.
And what you said earlier, yo, buying in season is very important. Yo, just eat what's in season, yo, and you're probably gonna feel better. Shit's gonna taste better. Like
Go to your local farm. ask them what's in season and when is in season. And
Mhm.
chances are you can get it cheaper than the grocery store.
Mm-hmm. Yo, we have a benefit living where we live, not only in the Northeast, but just in Western Mass and for us at least, because I know you said you're from Rhode Island.
No, I'm from Boston originally.
You're from Boston originally, okay. But I mean, just Mass, between Mass and Connecticut, shit,
So
Mass,
many-
Connecticut, Vermont, yo.
So many farmers markets.
What? Dog,
Take
being on the
advantage of them.
road,
Cheap.
seeing
Dirt
mad
cheap.
local farms, yo. Like, yeah, they might not even be like it might even be just like a mom and pop. They're not even like an operation. They just have a roadside stand and they just growing cucumbers, tomatoes, all this shit in their backyard. $1 for a fucking tomato this
100%.
big, freshly grown, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
same thing with getting fucking fresh eggs and shit. Like during the pandemic, people bitching about eggs cost still the last couple years. Motherfuckers was down the road selling them for $2.99 a carton still fresh.
Right.
And they're so much better.
Yolks bright
Like,
orange.
have you ever had like I had friends who came from different countries, and then they would come here and like
Look at
try
the
some of
food.
our meat.
Mhm.
Like they doesn't taste the same.
Yeah, spit that shit right out.
That's crazy. And this is just what we're accustomed to.
There's so many good documentaries on Netflix.
They're
that
scary. I
really-
ain't gonna hold you. This it's horror for a nigga like me.
What's
yeah,
that?
that shit make me not want to eat, yo. Yeah.
Let me see. There's this
It's a
one
few
that's
of
my
them.
I mean, we're
favorite.
far gone. We're grown. It's different now. We
Word. we don't made it this far.
No.
yo.
When you think
Oh,
about our
man.
generation, like we are, what is it? Analog to digital.
Mhm.
We had all the sugars, all the
Yeah, we've been through it all. We're a resilient bunch.
Yeah.
Supersize me.
Yeah, we might be.
Supersize Me was
yeah.
the reason why
we
I
might
stopped
be
eating
studied
fast
in
food.
like
And I
50
haven't ate
years.
that
Like,
shit since I was
Supersize.
15
Think
years
about
old.
Supersize
Yeah.
me is
I'm
crazy.
32 now, and
rest
I
in
have
peace
not
to
ate anything since I seen that movie.
Morgan something.
That
yeah.
was what changed my opinion.
Wow.
Real shit.
I could not. It was a lot. It was a lot of the
I ain't gonna lie,
studies.
though. I love McDonald's.
Damn, I'm trying to think of this movie.
Before we go, do y'all have any
phone.
final thoughts on Chef? Besides
Nah.
telling people, because I've never seen it before we put it on
Oh.
this. Before we put it on the slate, it's a great movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It is a good
It-
movie.
It shows family dynamics. It shows
It shows the real dynamic of what it is to work inside of a kitchen and the
Word.
daily struggles that you face. You know, having a family, losing
Mhm.
a family, chasing
Yes.
your dreams, and you know, it's possible. You know,
Yeah, and don't limit it to just cooking because you could be someone that is really a fan of whatever your passion is and your
Yeah.
pursuit, and I think you can relate it. Me personally, cooking is not my I don't have an issue cooking, but I'm not a professional. And like, to see it, I can relate it instantly to things that I'm passionate about, just the way the movie presented.
Where I was gonna reference like I liken this to a movie like we haven't done it yet, but like a Whiplash.
Okay.
Where you're seeing another person on a pursuit of something that they're very passionate about, and they're not gonna let anything really stop them, type of thing. So yeah, it's dope. Yeah, it's very good. I can't recommend it enough. Yeah, anybody that I know is into food, it's a movie that I've always recommended them.
And it's reminiscent for the birth of Twitter. Like to see
Crazy, right?
Twitter in its infancy like that,
Yeah.
and see somebody be surprised at how it works,
Mhm.
and like, I mean, that's before the algorithm was so like calculated and they knew how
Yeah.
much of a business it was.
When his,
Oh my God, it was so
when
pure.
his sous chefs were like,
Just
"Yo,
be able
we
to
use
throw
it to
stuff
go
out
get
there.
concert tickets and
Right.
fucking all this other shit." That's what it really used to. Yo, Twitter used to be the shit, but
Very pure Twitter, organic growth like a mug. Like,
facts, yo.
I think this was a great movie. I think it was a good ideology of how you have people that really love and support you. And it's like, they always say you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink.
Yeah.
And they couldn't make him drink for a while
Mm.
because he was really down on himself too. He was at a point where, because of what happened and because of the food critic and the thing that he said, he lost some of his own ability and his confidence. And I feel like that was also lost when he was told that he couldn't make what he wanted because he was continuing to be put in a box. When he's trying to release himself out of that, he's still being caged in. And so I feel like eventually he didn't even believe himself that like he was worth having more because that was a struggle for him. And so eventually when people kept telling him like, you can do this, he decided to drink the water and he was able to see what he himself was made of.
yeah,
But then also to like actually understand like I can have the life that I want. I can make this happen by being in love, having a family, and having everything because I'm controlling my destiny and being able to say, like, I'm not going to allow nobody else to steer for me. I'm going to take it over for me. And I think that it's a good movie for you to just understand, like, don't give up on your dreams based off of somebody else. Don't let nobody else shut you down either. If you have something, continue to go for it. But even when shit gets hard, you can have a second to be where you fell, but don't stay there. Get back up and keep going. Just because you fell in a place doesn't mean that you need to stay there. And whoever you met there also might not be somebody that's meant for you to continue to go on your journey. Have an interaction, have an encounter, sure, but get up and keep going. Because whatever is happening on the other side is not just there. It was a really good
knowledge.
On that note,
Facts. This was seen and not heard.
Nothing more to say after that. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate y'all.
Such a dope
What
experience.
you see is what you get. It's what you get. Then what you see is what you